Hello guys, Mother Shield. Today we are going to be reviewing Justice League, it's 2017. And not much to say, but I think we can get right into this one. But go check out some of my other DCU reviews. I'm doing a series, and then Rocky videos will be coming out once I see Creed 3 on Saturday. And yeah, I have a lot to do for a little while. And let's get started. Start off with this movie's about. This movie has this villain of Steppenwolf kind of go after these mother boxes, and then Batman is kind of forming the Justice League, which consists of him, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. And then Superman's dead now, and they start have to fight Steppenwolf on their own, and then they try to have to bring back Superman to life to stop him. I guess that's what it's about. And I'm going to format this one a little differently than most reviews because, to be honest, I think that this movie, it's just not a good movie all around. So I'm just really going to just sort of rant on it. It's going to be a little different than most movie reviews. But if I have to really talk about the good here, it's not boring. I'm not really, when I was watching it, I was like, okay, it's not boring. I wasn't just like, why is this going on forever? Because it's a very fast movie, maybe too fast. Well, yeah, too fast, but yeah. And I think I was overall kind of kept there with the movie. It keeps you entertained enough, I guess, but that's about all the positives I can give it. And then some of the flash effects look pretty good too. And then, the whole, yeah, that's about it. And now we have all of the reasons why this movie is not good at all. And they've pretty much been stated and stated. And the problem with this movie, it's just kind of like gross when I really think about it. Like, this doesn't usually, I never really think about this movie with movies. And the WB was a mess at the time. The same thing happened with Suicide Squad, although I thought that movie was actually pretty entertaining. Here, you have, if I compare this to the Snyder Cut, I bet this one will be like, I might even think of it as worse. Because honestly, it's relatively entertaining, if I'm going to be honest. But every character doesn't feel right. Wonder Woman, I mean, she feels normal, but like she feels a little bit too like hopeful. Like she doesn't notice. Like I just don't think she feels right. Ben Affleck doesn't feel right. He feels like he's not quite the same character he was. He wasn't brooding as much as I feel like Batman should. And I think Cyborg, the CGI looks really weird. And some of my favorite stuff in the Snyder Cut is some of the development with Cyborg, and all of that's taken away, and everything just feels empty. It's like, what are we doing with this character? So of all of them, I think he's the most disappointing. And then you have the Flash, which this is the frustrating one, where you have him in Snyder Cut turn back time, and then here he pushes a car. Do you see what's frustrating about that? And then even when he does do some heroic things, it's always for a joke. Like Superman can do it better, and then everything's kind of just played for a joke in this movie. And I mean, it makes sense when you have Joss Whedon directing it. And personally, I don't think he's a very good director. I mean, he did the first Avengers. He did a good job. He did a good job with Age of Ultron. I've seen Serenity. I didn't care for it, although I haven't seen Firefly, so maybe that's why. And then did not care at all for Alien Resurrection. I thought that was just too weird. But it was kind of fun at the same time. So you can make entertaining movies, but not exactly good movies, except for the Avengers movies. And here, yeah, that's still the case. Steppenwolf just looks like a video game character. Cyborg looks like a video game character. This whole movie looks like a video game half the time, especially when you get to the final battle. All these bright colors are showing up, and you have these vines coming out of the floor, looking like a messed up world in Fortnite or Minecraft. And it just doesn't look right from the beginning. I'm like, what is going? First I'm watching, I'm like, why does Steppenwolf look so weird? It just looks terrible, and especially the kid to the cake. I didn't even mention it. It's Superman. It's Henry Cavill's mustache and those flowers in that scene, which did not need that. Yeah, there's just some dumb stuff here that just didn't need to be there. And I think when you really think about this movie, the WB was a mess. They didn't let Zack Snyder make his project, and they used the excuse of, I think, his daughter's death or something like that, or sickness. I'm not 100% sure. And then they jacked the film from him and then gave it to Joss Whedon to finish. And what's worse thing is that they still put his name on it. Like when you get to the bit in Metropolis, it still says the Zack Snyder, directed by Zack Snyder, which it clearly wasn't. And personally, I'm not the biggest Snyder fan. I enjoy movies like his DC movies. I haven't seen 300 yet, but I kind of want to watch that soon. just come on. The WB was just a mess. They should have just given it to Snyder. Like, for real. It would have done well, but they were very consistent, dropping it under 2 hours. So it was literally, I think, an hour and 59 minutes and 59 seconds. And everything feels rushed when I watch it. When I watch it, I don't see like a 4 hour movie in mind, but I see something longer. And it just doesn't feel right from the beginning. And it's just like, what are they doing here? And it just frustrates me because this could have been a really good movie. And, well, I mean, it was, but they just messed everything up. It's not good. And even when, like, they bring Superman back, it still feels like it's a lot. Cause it's kind of like he kind of reminds me of, like, the Christopher Reeve Superman, sort of. And then that the stupid mustache thing. Come on there. And then it feels like the bits were just rushed. Like, I feel like the whole Cyborg story was rushed. You definitely feel like the bringing back of Superman was rushed. Like, I think that was like a whole, like, at least 30 minutes in the Snyder Cut. This was like not even like 5. And it's like, okay, what are you doing here? And then there's some jokes where Flash is landing on Wonder Woman's breasts or whatever, and then he's scared of birds, he's scared of tall things, he's scared. It's so frustrating that they just put everything, especially for that Flash character, to be a joke. And thank God the Snyder Cut exists, because they made him out to be such a heroic character. And I think Ezra Miller is perfectly good in the role, even though he's highly had the most frustrating, I guess, personal life at the moment, where he's like, he's getting arrested, he's getting presumed stuff. I don't know. And, yeah, whatever about that. I'm excited for the Flash movie. That probably will be good. So, I think I've said what I've said about this movie. I mean, as I said, it's entertaining. The characters are fine, I guess. Steppenwolf is a terrible villain, given, like, no motivation. And all he says is mother, and it's just weird. And it, like, the whole thing would, and then it kind of replaced Darkseid with Steppenwolf. And that little, like, epic Lord of the Rings sequence in the Snyder Cut actually was fantastic. And then here, it's just given, like, 5 minutes. It's a very condensed version. And also you have, what's it called? You have the whole opening, like, 30 minutes of it, which kind of just feel like they're introducing things left and right rather than, like, taking their time, which, I mean, that part was fun. I mean, the movie, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it ain't good. And I'm just gonna end this because I've overstayed my welcome. For this movie's final score, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. It's bad, but it's still kind of entertaining. But I think when I really think about this movie, when I watch it, I'm kind of like, okay, when I really think back to it, and especially when I compare it to the Snyder Cut, it just makes this movie kind of just zone out for me, because, like, when I really think about what happened behind the scenes, it just kind of ruins this movie. And it's just so frustrating because, okay, I need to stop. But overall, it's not the worst thing ever created. If you want to check it out, go for it, I guess. But I recommend the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour one. It's actually, some people say it's too long. I disagree. I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, maybe we could have trimmed out some stuff, but we'll talk about that when I get there. So, that's about it. I'm going to have to hurry with this DCEU binge watch, because I'm going to have a lot going on until Shazam 2 comes out, because I've only done 4 movies. I have to do my Rocky stuff this weekend, so I have to get through these movies fast. And then 65, I'm going to go see on Sunday. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And see you guys next time. Adios.